Welcome to Shopify and GA4 using Elevar. Alrighty, before we start, let me tell you a bit about who I am. I'm Manisha Mistry. I'm an instructor at measurementmarketing.io. I became a measurement marketer in 2022. I work with our dedicated measurement management clients at measurementmarketing.io to help them actively measure their marketing, help them take action on their data, help them build actionable dashboards. I'm actively answering client and member questions, and I love all things BigQuery, Analytics, Canvas, and Looker Studio. So if you want to jam and ask questions about those, let's dive in. Alrighty, before we start any one of our trainings, we talk about one thing. The goal when you watch any one of the videos is to grab one thing, ride the bike, and then circle back and grab another one thing. Let's dive into Shopify and GA4 using Elevar. Alrighty, so before we dive in and do all the technical stuff to get Elevar connected to our Shopify store and get GA4 connected and all the events coming through, just want to quickly stop on Elevar's pricing page. So yes, Elevar is a paid measurement tool. A lot of people don't know this is they actually have a free tier. So I'm actually going to scroll down, come in here. If you come to choose a plan, you have to come to the top of the page and scroll halfway down, and you will see they have this starter plan, which is $0 a month. It does cover some of the orders. I'm going to scroll down and just check this. It's 100 orders a month, and then you pay 25 cents for extra orders. There's a few different things that are not covered, like email alerts and real-time tracking, and you'll see those are covered in the higher plans. So like the $150 will give you real-time tracking. But what they all give you is server-side destination, meaning that the information for a purchase is going directly from Shopify to GA4, which is great for a tracking perspective. So just a minute on the pricing page. So if you're working with your client and they do have less than 100 orders a month, even if they have like 120 or something like that, do some work on the pricing, and this is usually the ideal solution to use. Okay, so now that I went through the pricing, let's make sure we need to set up Shopify. So you will need the Elevar account from your client. You will need access to the Shopify admin panel. You will need a GA4, and you will need a GTM. If the client doesn't have a GA4 and GTM, you can totally create them for them pretty quickly. Okay, so now let's hop into Elevar. So I already have my Shopify connected to my store. You can kind of walk through these steps pretty quickly. I'm just going to show you how it's set up. This screen is going to ask you to kind of log into Shopify store. So you're going to do that, and it's going to get all connected. Here, you're going to enter your GTM container ID. So you're going to pop into your GTM, and you're going to come in and click on this number here. You're going to copy everything in the quotes, Control C on your keyboard, pop on over back to Elevar, and just paste it in here. I'm just going to actually delete this one so you can see me put it in and paste. I just did a Control C on my keyboard to copy and then Control V to paste, and hit save. Alrighty, so consent mode. If consent is something important to you, then you want to click yes and kind of go through their steps. We're not going to deal with consent, so we're going to go no and save. And then there's preparing your store. So you have to make sure that you remove any pre-existing GTN scripts. They do a great job of walking you through how to remove them. I'm just going to kind of show you the places you want to look. So you're going to come into your store, you're going to come online store themes, and then this screen is going to load, and you're going to click on these three dots, and you're going to go edit code. I'm just going to give it a second to load. There we go. Okay. So there's a couple of places you want to check. So the first one is you're going to come in here under layout theme.liquid. Click anywhere in here. Do a Control F on your keyboard, and this section here will pop up. Now what you want to type in is you want to type in GTM dash. And you want to look for any GTM. None there. The other thing you want to do is close this off, look for snippets. And in here, look for tracking. If there's anything like tracking.liquid, remove that too. Elevar has some other places you may want to check, and they kind of lay those out here. You want to check your customer events too. So let's go show you that. So I'm just going to wait for my Shopify store to load. So if you make any changes here, make sure you hit save. But now I'm going to back it up. And I'm going to go look at my customer events. So you're going to come into online store, and you're going to go to settings. And under settings, you're going to go to customer events. And as you can see, I only have 2 here, which is perfect. That's all you want. Okay, so hopping back into Elevar. Okay, and then the last thing is configuring a custom pixel. So now that you're in there, so the same place you were before, you're going to copy this code. You're going to hop back into here. You're going to go add a custom pixel. They're going to give you a name. I'm just going to go TBV that name. So it's Elevar Checkout Tracking. So we're going to go back to our Shopify store. And we're going to name this Elevar Custom Tracking. Add pixel. Okay. Under permissions, depending on consent, you may have to keep this or not. This is something you have to work with your client or with your privacy team on, or figure out with your client if they need it. For us, because we're just we're not doing any consent on the store, we're going to do none. And then the code they gave us, we're just going to delete everything in here, paste the code. And let me go make sure it copied. So I'm just going to hit copy, copy, copy a few times, and then come here. Oh, it did. See? I just needed to paste it once. There we go. Okay. Now, on this screen, I'll be honest, it's kind of like, where do you hit save? It's actually all the way up here. Okay? And then after you hit that save, wait, because I've made this mistake twice myself, and trust me, it's definitely something that can be missed. Then you come down and hit connect, and you got to read the terms and conditions. So if you need to, read the terms or pass them to your client to read. And then you're waiting for Pixel connected, and now you can close that off. Okay, so coming back into Elevar, and then delete any legacy Elevar scripts. So we're actually going to come back here, and we're going to close out this screen. And now we're back in our theme, and we're going to go take a look at our code. So you're going to go to Online Store Themes. You're going to come here to the three dots, and you're going to go Edit Code. What we're looking for is any code in our theme.liquid file that has Elevar in it. So we're just going to give this a minute because it seems to be taking a minute to load my code. So again, we're doing the search. So click into theme.liquid, Control F, Elevar, and hit enter. I like to kind of hit enter a few times in case I forgot to hit enter. Nothing here. If you do delete anything, make sure you hit save. Then come into here and look for the word Elevar and see if anything comes up. Nothing came up, so we're good. If there is anything, please ensure you delete it, and I walk you through the steps here. So now you've done your first step, and you want to make sure you get that green check mark in the corner here. Okay, so that's part one. Part two, adding a destination. This is where Elevar does its magic. You now have your Shopify store connected to Elevar. Now you're telling it, hey, whenever something happens there, like a purchase, I want you to tell these sources. So one of these sources is GA4, but there are many other sources. I'm just kind of like scrolling through the list for you. We're going to focus on GA4 for today. So we're going to click GA4. And now we're going to get started. And they do a great job of walking you through. First, you need your measurement ID. So let's hop in over into our GA4. We're going to copy it here. If you can't find it here, you're going to go into admin. I'm just giving GA4 a second to load the admin panel. Now you're going to come under data streams. And you're going to come under here. And you're going to copy your measurement ID. And you're going to hop back into Elevar. And you're going to pop it in there. And you're going to save and continue. And it does sometimes take a minute to save, so just kind of bear with it. Okay, events. We like to go with best practices, so just save. Consent. If you have it, I recommend you read the setup guide. If you want to go save. Transaction identifier. We're going to use order name, but you may want to watch the video and the setup guide if you need something else. Most of the time, we like to go with what's recommended by Elevar. Next is product identifier. So again, we're going to go with recommended. If you're going to change it to one of these, recommend you read the guides, but we kind of like to go with what's recommended. Now, you can have it where some information is not sent to the destination. Maybe you don't want returns in GA4. So you could do, something like, yes, and block some transactions, where you can block like refunds and stuff, or you can say send it all. We're going to go with a recommended, but definitely if you need to block some or you want to send all, you can pick, accordingly. So we're going to go save and continue. We don't have subscriptions. If you do have subscriptions, that may be something you want to kind of look into, and they have a great video here on it. And we're going to go save and continue. And the final step is the magic when it happens, is they have a downloaded pre-built container for you. So you're going to click this button, and it's going to download a zip file with a container file in it. So we're just going to give that a second to load. Okay, so that's been loaded, and we have it right here loaded. So what you can do is click on that. I'm just going to bring it over to my other screen, and you're going to open this file, and in here is going to be a file. Just pull this out and put this in a folder where, on your desktop. I like to put it in my downloads folder, but if you need to put it anywhere else, you can do that. You need that handy so you can use it in GTM. Okay, so now it is time to go into Google Tag Manager. Okay, so here we are in Tag Manager. We can close this out. Make sure you're in Tag Manager. You're going to go to admin. You're going to go to under container. You're going to go to import container. And we're going to go load that file in. And Tag Manager is just taking a minute. We're going to go choose a file. We're just going to go pick a same file we just downloaded and go open. Now, there's two really important things to remember whenever you do this. First, we recommend creating a workspace for any time you are importing a container. Call it what you're working on. So I'm actually going to call it Manisha, so my team knows that I'm doing it, and I'm going to call it Elevar, so they know I'm working on Elevar. Then it's really important not to overwrite. It's to merge and to rename. That way, if there's anything conflicting in the current container with your tags, you're not deleting any of the tags that somebody already created. You don't want to override anything that somebody's already using or that's tracking paid traffic. And you can hit confirm. Now we're just going to give this a second. Okay, so we're just loading our tags here. It's like the moment, right? And as you can see, Elevar has done an awesome job. They have all the tags you need implemented. So now we're going to go into preview mode and we're going to do some previewing. Okay, so we're just going to bring up our store. Let's make sure we got it. Okay, let's add the domain. It's https shopify.measurementmarketing.io. Let's just make sure I got no spelling mistakes there. Trust me, I do make those, and sometimes I'm like, wait, why is it not working? It's because of a spelling mistake. Okay, so when you are debugging, you want to make sure this connects, and you just want to go check and make sure it's all lit up. The other thing you might want to do is head over into Analytics, come out of here, come down to Data Display, scroll all the way to the bottom of Data Display, see this Debug view. Now this can be a hit and a miss, I'll be honest, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And you might get lucky and it might turn on, you see yourself live. So we'll just give this a second to see if it lights up. Yeah, so it hasn't received anything yet, but we'll keep going and see if it lights up. Okay, so we know we're lit up. We're going to come in here, we're going to scroll down, and we're going to go to our test product. Now we want to make sure as we perform some behaviors a normal customer would, so like a view product. And then we're going to hop back over into Tag Assistant, and we're going to see, did we get a view product? Hold on, you got to make sure you click on the breadcrumb. So it's not letting me click on it because it keeps moving down. There we go. Okay, so we see a GA4 item view here. We see the view item and we see the parameters. And we're going to hop into analytics and see if we lit up yet. Not yet, but it will light up at some point. Oh, look, here we go. See? Wonderful. So happy to see that. And you can see all the good information that's making its way. Okay, come back over into our Tag Assistant and I'm going to add to cart. I'm going to go view my cart. I'm just going to give it a second, like kind of like let the machine do its thing. I'm going to hop back over in here. I'm going to close this out. I'm going to scroll up in here and we see we got a view cart. Do we have an add to cart? We do have an add to cart. And see, the breadcrumbs move down on you sometimes, so you got to catch it. Hold on. Here we go. There we go. And we have an add to cart, which is amazing. Again, all that great information, all that good information is making its way. Now we're going to go to checkout and we're going to perform a purchase. So I happen to have a code to zero out my cart, so I'm just going to apply that. That way I don't need to provide any payment information, which makes it nice and easy for me. And then I'm just going to enter some quick cart information so I can make it through the checkout. Let me just make sure I enter some information. And I am just going to enter a dummy address. And I'm going to do a city, and I'm going to do a postal. Oops, that was too fast. Okay, not going to do a phone number. It's zeroed out, so I don't have payment information, and we're going to go complete order. Now, one thing you have to remember when you're using Elevar is earlier in this session, I mentioned that, it's a server-to-server connection. So you're going to come here and be like, I don't see a purchase. You're not going to, because what's going to happen is Elevar is going to send that directly from Shopify to GA4. If you happen to be on one of the higher plans, you can come into real-time activity and you will see it here. We are actually on the free plan. So we have what we need. We won't see any activity here, but we have what we need to know that, the tracking's there. And what we could do is in, 24 hours, 48 hours from now, a day or two, come back and kind of TBV, take a look and see if GA4 has a purchase. So let's just give this a minute to see if you can get back into analytics. For some reason, it doesn't want to load. So here we have it. So you won't see a purchase here. We see the add to cart. Don't worry about it. Like I said, give it 24 hours and you can come and check if there's purchase. Now, The tag manager part is done. So what you can come do is close off this window and close out the assistant, and we're going to publish our GTM container. So let's give it a minute. Just kind of closing everything off. And then we have a few more steps in Elevar before we can call it a day. So I'm going to go submit. And we're going to say some details, maybe publishing Elevar container. And you can add some more details if you need to. And you can sing like no one is listening because guess what? You've got Elevar tracking up and live. Now, we have to head back. We just want to make sure this goes through. And then we have to head back into Elevar. Go back to my tracking because we are not done. Make sure you hit setup here. So we've done it all to web container setup. Make sure you click mark complete because you've done your part. Okay. Now is the moment of truth, guys. You get to go live. You got to hit the big purple button and say go live. You want to make sure you hit this. Go live. It's going to say, yeah, are you good? And you say, yep. And it's doing some checks. It's just checking a few things, and it's saying, ta-da, you are live. So if I back it up now, you will see we're, detected on live theme here, and it is live. So now we sit back, we let a couple purchases come in. I would definitely give it 24 to 72 hours and then go into GA4 and check to make sure you're seeing view item, add to carts and purchases, and kind of get your client, maybe a quick exploration, and there you have it. That is setting up GA4 for Shopify using Elevar. So what was your one thing? Was it how quick and easy it was to get Elevar set up for your Shopify store? We definitely love Elevar and are big fans. Now, if you found today's content useful and want to continue to stay tuned, we recommend you hit the subscribe button. We have lots of great content on the way. Now, with any one of our learnings as we move forward through our measurement journey, our measurement strategy, we want to make sure we're going back to the measurement marketing framework. The framework helps us go from marketing in the blind to marketing where we can reliably grow revenue and profit. When it comes to setting up Elevar with GA4, that is going to be in the build. You're going to have your plan ready to go, and then the build is going to be where you set up Elevar. Now, if you want to learn more about the measurement marketing framework and get access to some free tools, and also learn about our flagship product, which is the Measurement Marketing Academy, where you can ask live questions to people like Julie and myself through Ask Instructor Support, you can go to measure.tips/getacademy. So there you have it. That was Shopify and GA4 using Elevar.